Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Akashic Goes with Sabrina Dawn. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I did. It was a very hot weekend, but it was a nice weekend. All right, so we're going to start with the Radley Valentine's Angel Tarot. Oh, they're saying stop already. Oh my goodness, you guys. So we have the High Priestess. If I'm remembering correctly, and I don't always, so I apologize, but it also had a 33 seconds on there. We had this the last two videos. So you are moving, whether you're male or female, you are moving into the High Priestess energy within yourself. Oh, I love it. Listen to your intuition. Have patience. Consider carefully what you want before acting. And that's, that's prudence. That's being smart. That's making sure that you are not being run by a wound or a need. You're doing your best to go within and see the situation, or whatever is going on for you. And we'll find out more as we open up the cards. And there's just this beautiful transformation wanting to take place. Okay, and in the background, so, I've seen this card twice. This is the third time in a row, right? And in the background is the earth, and I hadn't seen that. And what they're pointing out is that there's a lot going on in the world right now, and it can feel like it's pulling you in many different directions. My son is upstairs talking to somebody, so if you can hear him, I apologize. I did tell him I was recording, but this happens with teenagers. So, okay. So there's a lot going on in the world, so you may feel yourself pulled in different directions. You may feel yourself being run on emotions. Especially, I feel like a lot of the people who resonate and connect with my videos, that they are very sensitive to the energies around them. I am, and so I understand exactly what you're going through. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different pulls and a lot of different feelings, a lot of different important subjects that are being brought up, including public health and safety, just so many things. There's so many things. So this is a deck called the Soul Cards by Deborah Koff Chapman. This is the second edition. So this card, this deck has only pictures. It doesn't have any words. Call forth the angels. I call forth the angels before every reading, but I'm just doing it again to clarify the High Priestess angels. Oh, look at how this one is like coming right out. Okay. And look at, I feel like, I'm going to show you. Oh, these are glossy, so it's hard. Kind of like the High Priestess, isn't it? Okay. The message that I'm getting from this with the High Priestess, so the High Priestess, whether you're male or female, is the part of you that knows how to go within and get in touch with what's going on within you, right? It's like, thinking before you speak, and then making sure your actions line up with what you speak, right? Like there's all of this stuff going on. She's the moon, is Archangel Haniel, which is the archangel of the moon. So there's, being pulled in the different cycles of life, of earth, okay? But mainly what I'm hearing is that there is a lot going on, and you may feel that tug, push and pull that's going on in the world with all of the emotions and everything that's happening. And what I'm picking up on this here is that, what you think and what you feel, make sure that, you're what the angels are inviting you to do is to recognize that the way to make lasting change is to have your actions be derived, rooted from love. Like allow love. So this is like the green, the heart chakra coming in, right? The energy that's at the bottom of the card. It's at the bottom of the High Priestess coming in, allowing it to wrap around her. Okay, see the pink here? And there's some more green here. Okay, wrapping around her, if you can see that. Wrapping around, and then it emanates out. Okay, so one of the things of being an empath is recognizing that you don't need to absorb everything. okay, and gaining strength and letting go of the victim mentality of you know, oh my God, I'm so bombarded by other people's energies. And while that may be true, and if you're tired and, you know, in a like certain situations it may be more true, but what that actually shows is that a lack of boundaries on the empath's part. And that's where the empath, it's time for that empath to start to grow. And so who is it? Cindy Dale, if you want to look her up, she's wonderful. She talks a lot about, you know, when we feel invaded by other people's energy, it's because that we have something in our aura, like a tear or something like that, that's it's seeping in through. And so we can learn to heal and work with some of those wounds and heal them, so that we can be an empath that's more in their power and not so victim to other people's energies. And that's what I feel like is really happening here. If you feel, and I, you know, guys, this message is for me just as much as it is for everybody else, because I definitely have growth to do in that area, and I definitely take on too much of other people's energy, so much to the point that sometimes I have to just stop and like recognize, wait, what am I feeling? Who am I? Like, what, get grounded in who I am again. I'm also very sensitive to, like, if somebody's on a substance, you know, I can like all of a sudden absorb that, and it's like as if I was the one that was drinking or whatever. So it's like I have to be very careful about what I'm around. And some of that is my psychic and intuitive ability, but some of it is coming from an aura that has had a lot of trauma and wounds, and I'm working on healing those and sealing up some of those tears and stuff like that. So working with practitioners that know how to do that, or looking into that for yourself. You know, Cindy Dale has a wonderful book on energetic boundaries, I think it's called, and that's what that book gets into. Okay, so if you want to understand more about how to manage your own energy and to not take on other people's energy so much, Cindy Dale is a great, that book, energetic boundaries. If you want to email me, my email is in the description box, and ask me exactly what that title of that book is. If you can't find it just from what I'm saying here, just send me an email. It's in the description box, and I'll send you probably a picture of the book, the way that I work. But yes, I find pictures to be easier. Visual, right? Third eye. Also, by the way, the high priestess is somebody who sees. She's a seer. She sees all. She doesn't need to speak at all. She can go within. Okay, and that's what they're also trying to say is too, is that if you witness it, if you go in and you watch things, you don't have to get pulled in. You don't have to you know, you don't have to go within and cry or whatever, but you can go in and see and start to notice and reflect what's going on in the world around you, and what does this mean to you? Where do you stand in it? And not be so pulled in different directions or by different posts or different news articles and stuff like that, but standing in your own energetic autonomy, having those energetic boundaries, and then allowing love to be at the base of it all, and allowing it to wrap around you, so that what you put out into the world is love. But also, what I'm hearing, do you see how, like, she's coming towards the high priestess? I feel like, you know, learning to love that side of yourself, that intuitive side of yourself, the side of yourself that does feel a lot, and that does know and see things and doesn't necessarily always trust it. But sending love to that side of yourself will help you heal more and more and step more into your power. Do you see how there's yellow here, which I didn't even see before, but do you see how she's yellow? Okay, and the more that you do that, the more that you love the high priestess within, the more that you will step into and embody the high priestess. It's kind of funny, the high priestess is my favorite card in all decks. Sometimes the pictures can throw me off a little, but always the meaning of what the high priestess is, and Kitty agrees that it's just my favorite card in the deck. So it's kind of funny that it's come out 3 times that I really love, and they keep bringing it to me. So, and I know I said this last week, so I'm not going to get into it, but snakes really scare the bejeebers out of me. It's actually an irrational fear. And I just really just see like that snake skin of transformation wanting to come through. And you can do that like through making sure everything you do is based in love. And, you know, you can ask yourself 2 questions. One is, what is my son, I'm sorry if you can hear him. He's actually making funny noises now. He's 16. So making sure that there's 2 questions you can ask yourself. So what is my main goal? What is, like, this is what I want to achieve. And if you're down here trying to figure out how to achieve here, you ask the question, and Kitty really likes this, what is your next step to get you to that goal? Because, you can have 3 different options in front of you, but if you really look at one of those options, it might take you this way. So what is it that gets me there? And then the second question is, what can I do instead? Like, so no, the first question is this really what I want? Is this based in love? Is this going to open up my soul and be in alignment with who I am? Okay, and once you check that, okay, and you make sure, you might have to move over a little, change your intention and your direction just a little, but making sure that this is based in love. And Kitty really likes this message. And then figuring out what to do from there, what you need to do, what steps you need to take. But when you always have your end goal in mind, you'll be able to take those steps to get you there. I had a good friend teach me this, and I will, in a different context, but I found that to be really beautiful advice that I take with me. This is the Archangel Raphael Healing Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Let's see what Archangel Raphael has to say about healing the High Priestess within. Because really that's what's coming through. It's stepping into your power. With opening your heart, knowing what it is, and seeing your end goal, that focused intention that also came in last week, right? Sobriety. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for adjusting my cravings in helpful directions so that I only desire life-affirming foods and beverages. So sobriety. That could mean a variety of things. And isn't that funny how I talked about how if somebody's on a substance, I can really feel it. Sometimes it's as if I'm the one that drank or whatever. And it can be kind of obnoxious, actually. And so I'm learning how to, heal so that I don't have to do that so much. But it is taking time. But what is also coming up here, and you see how this angel, how he's praying over the food. He's feeling grateful for the food. And he has these beautiful bird wings versus angel wings. And he is wearing Archangel Raphael color. So this, I feel like, is the high priest and the high priestess. So, okay. Okay, thank you for the message, high priest. So in High Priestess, so when blending your inner feminine and your inner masculine will help you balance yourself and help you recognize that what we can be eating as a form of protection. Okay, once I started doing this work again, after a few years off, I gained like 25 pounds. Like I just gained a ton of weight, and I'm working on getting over it, but when we're empaths, not getting over it, but I'm working through it so that I can get back to the healthful eating that was similar to what I was doing before, and honoring my body. And I'm hearing that's what the collective is calling the collective, a message that the collective could hear at this time is that looking at what it is that you're putting into your body, whether it be a substance or whether it be food or beverage, okay, so that you can, okay guys, I'll say it, sorry, they're like, this. Okay. Also, what it is that you're subjecting yourself to that's changing your energy. So if you find yourself that you go on Facebook or you go watch certain TV shows or certain movies, right? Let's just say you used to love scary movies. But as you've been spiritually awakened and you're finding that scary movies are harsh on you and you're not feeling very good after them, they're saying to honor that. Don't try to hold on to who you used to be, okay? Whether that's food and beverages or substances, movies, Facebook, social media, whatever it is, go towards some stuff that's more soul nourishing, that makes you feel good, especially if you're having a hard time. Sometimes if we're having a hard time, okay, this is really important. Kitty's like really speaking up. Sometimes when we're having a hard time, let's just say a relationship ended, we'll want to watch like sappy movies that make us cry and blah, blah, we feel it really strongly. What they're saying is that while some of that can be cathartic, can be healing, that be mindful that you're not going on too long with it and really feeding the ego, because there's a comfortableness there. And if you find yourself comfortable in that feeling, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, why am I so comfortable in this feeling? And you could almost always, they're saying, trace it back to your youth. So sobriety, but it's more about checking your energy, seeing what's going on, and making sure what you're doing is honoring who you are and your end goal and where you want to be. Okay. So, they're saying one more Raphael card. I put the other deck down. Hold on one second. Okay, Raphael, what would you like to speak to the collective? Sweet Raphael. And, Archangel Raphael is also the archangel of the heart chakra, of healing the heart. So, that's what we were talking about in this card, remember? It's like making sure that everything we do is based in love. So, often the empath chakra is also often here. There's also the second chakra, but here too, right? So we often feel things like through our heart and stuff like that. And when we get too bogged down, we can start to lose the truth of our own heart. Alternative medicine. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for guiding me to the ideal healing treatment modality and for giving me clear signs and messages to validate the best path for my well-being. And do you see how the angel is healing this young woman or this young girl? And she has her prayer hands, and then the healing is coming in. It's like a rainbow, okay? So calling on Archangel okay. So yes, you can absolutely reach out for practitioners. I do work, but there are lots of people who do beautiful work. Some people are opening up for in-person. I am not. I'm still doing things virtually for quite some time until I see that there is actual change going on, sustained change, with COVID. I want to try to keep the numbers down and honor that. Okay, so that's just where I'm working. So if you don't mind Zoom, I'd be happy to work with you. But if not, you can find another somebody who does alternative work. Okay, I do work with the aura and tears and everything that we were talking about. I do that and can do that long distance. But there are also other people who are opening up in person, or you may already have somebody that you're working with. This is just a card to let you know that you can reach out to them and see what they're doing. If they're doing anything virtually or if they're booking in person or anything like that. Okay. And also what I'm hearing too is you can call on Archangel Raphael. Okay, he is that archangel of the heart chakra, of unconditional love and of healing. Okay, healing the heart, healing the parts of ourselves that are not having those energetic boundaries, that learned somehow in our youth or in our past lives that, that it's safer to not have boundaries in some way about certain subjects, and that's where the energy is coming in. And if it's a certain subject, let's just say sobriety, right? It could be that you had parents that were addicts, or you had an ex that was like really abusive when they were using stuff, and that like came in and it tore like your aura in some way. So now when you're around people who are not sober in the same way, you actually absorb their energy. Okay. So I'm just giving you some examples, but Archangel Raphael is saying that there is a deep healing that can come in, and you can call on him, help him guide you to the right practitioners, to the right readers, to the right methods for yourself, the right books, the right videos, whatever it is that you're doing for yourself, because obviously you're doing them, you're here, you're watching this. So, you're doing them. So you can ask Archangel Raphael to guide you to the right thing to help you with that. And it could be that Energetic Boundaries might be the book for you, so you might want to check that out. But what I'm also hearing too is that you can work with him and ask him to heal you directly as well. And you don't have to reach out to anyone but him for that. Okay, you can reach out and just say, Archangel Raphael. I do recommend, I did this when I was in severe postpartum depression with my 4th child, and I had an amazing experience where it changed my view of working with the angels for the rest of my life in such a positive way that still all these years later I'm working with them. I just had this beautiful experience where he came into the room and did a lot of work on my my uterus and my cervical, like all that whole area. Okay, he just did a bunch of healing work there, and I was able to take steps and get better and be able to work on myself more and more and get myself to a healthier place. Whereas before that, I was extremely suicidal. I had severe postpartum depression, and it was a nightmare, and I had no help. So I had to help myself, and it was the angels that helped me. It was Archangel Raphael that really helped take that step. And then I was able to go get the practitioners. So there's the message. Okay, if you want, you can call on him to help you now so that you can feel strong enough, feel less embarrassed, whatever it is that you have going on, to get that help. And you can ask Archangel Raphael to help set you up with the right practitioners that have gone through and can help you through what you're going through or have been through. Okay? All right, now we're going to ask the 4 Agreements cards by Don Miguel Ruiz, just for some guidance on, you know, with the 4 Agreements, how you can have an inner process with this until, you know, until this, or during this. Oh, hold on, the whole deck just came spilling out. Okay, let's see. So when I knock on the cards 3 times, I actually am calling upon the angels in that moment. I've been doing it for so long that it happens in a split second for me. So I call on the angels and I ask them to clear and bless the deck. So that's what, when I do this, I'm clearing and blessing the deck with the guidance and help and aid of the angels. Ooh, this one literally just jumped out. I love it. Be aware of unconscious assumptions. Okay, that's actually really good. Don't make assumptions. Assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. So, you know, it could look that exactly how that is, but it can also look like, you know, when we are not healed from that place, we can, you know, we can make assumptions based on some of our wounds. You know, like that person is doing that because of, and it adds to our story, but that actually, Critty agrees with this, that actually might not be the truth or what they're going through. And it might not even be that they're doing what you think they're doing, but if they are, sometimes making an assumption as to why is completely like off the, you know, you're projecting onto it yourself. You've made an assumption and then you projected it onto them. So just be aware of your unconscious assumptions. So if, let's just say you go somewhere and that person who's normally warm and welcoming is a little distant and cold, you know, you may make an assumption like, oh, I did something wrong, or, oh, that has to do with me. But really what it might be is that that person just lost somebody, or that person just had a breakup, or that person hasn't talked to or is worried about somebody that they haven't been able to get in touch with. They have their own little thing going on and they're not able in that moment to be who they normally are, but you made an assumption that it had to do with you and it had nothing to do with you. And part of that is doing all of this work and recognizing the high priestess within and going within and seeing things for what they are, right? And not making the assumptions or doing your best not to. We're human, we're going to do it, but the angels are correcting me. Do your best not to. So be aware that you may be making an assumption. So if there's a situation that happens or somebody says something a little wonky, and you know, say, did I really hear them? I feel really hurt by that. Did I hear them the way that they were intending it? You know, did I hear them correctly, or am I hearing them from my wounds, from my assumptions? And going within and really realizing that, and that's going to help sober you up in ways that is going to bring healing and help you step more into your power, because you're going to see more and more how much what other people are going through just isn't about you. You know, how somebody acts, the way that they behave, even if they act towards you a certain way, half the time it has nothing to do with you. More than half the time, it is often because they've made an assumption. Okay? All right, so just take good care of yourself, love yourself, you know, and, you know, the more that we're not flooding our bodies with toxins and stuff like that, the more that we can hear that inner voice, we can get that sobriety, not meant in the way that we usually use it, but, you know, that sobriety, that spiritual autonomy energetically, we can step more and more into our power. Okay, and this could also be like, I know I said the high priestess, but it could also be Archangel Raphael. All right, so I am, oh, they're showing me one more thing. Okay, in this card is like all of the rainbows. Like it's like all of these different colors. They're harder to see online than in person, but you see how the rainbow here. Okay, so this, like I said, this is also Archangel Raphael coming in to heal the wounded one inside of us, so that we can step into that high priestess, stepping more into our power and having energetic autonomy. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to send an email, but I would absolutely love it if you would, if you enjoyed this, if you like, comment, subscribe, share. It helps the channel grow and it means the world to me. So thank you so much, and I send you all my love. Mwah.